What's going on, guys? GoldUnReaper here, back at it again for another video. So if you guys have been following like the gaming news lately, Sony has raised their PSN cost to play online for the free games and shit from $50 a year to $60 a year, and they also increased the price of the 3-month subscription as well. I'm not sure about the 1 month, but I would assume that is not going to change because $10 for a month is already fucking bullshit. But yeah, so in this video I'm going to be talking about why it is straight up, it's bullshit, it's a crime, it's a fucking travesty that you have to pay to access the online services on consoles. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. And I know a lot of people, like, before I get into it, I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, I don't pay the full subscription fee. I find it discounted elsewhere and blah, blah, blah. But it's not about, like, the minority, because the people who don't pay the full price are in the minority. We're talking about the majority. And the majority of people are paying $60 a year, or $50 if you're on PlayStation right now, to access the online services. The people who pay, who find the deals and shit, they're in the minority. Like, the casual gamers aren't looking around for deals and shit most of the time. They're just taking what's there. So yeah, let me get into it real quick. So first things first, when you choose to buy a console, you have to buy the console, then you have to buy your games, and then if you want to play online, you have to pay the subscription fee. But on top of that, you're also paying your internet bill and all that shit. So if you're paying for your internet and this console is refusing to allow you to play your games online, to access the online, even though you already have internet, that's pretty much just a bullshit paywall and a scam. And people are like, oh, but they give you free games. I get the subscription because I get to play online and I get free games. But they're not free games. You're paying for them. Like, they can't be free when you're paying for them. That makes no sense. If you're giving these companies $60 a year, and your only excuse to why you're doing it is for the free games, those games aren't free. You're paying for them. If you don't pay the subscription fee, you don't get the free games. Therefore, they're not free. I don't understand this argument that you're paying the subscription fee for the free games. And on top of that, on PlayStation, once you stop paying the subscription fee, those games you downloaded for free, you can't play. So you don't have the games. You only have the games. You can only access the games as long as you are paying the subscription fee. They're not free games. You're paying for them. And a lot of people are going to say, oh, but Microsoft gives us good free games plus the backwards compatible games. But the thing about that is Microsoft's only doing that because their console is getting outsold by PlayStation. PlayStation gives out shit indie games, not even good indie games most of the time. There's rare cases of them giving out good indie games like Outlast and shit, but most of the time it's straight up dog shit. And they're doing that because their console's winning and people are paying these subscription fees regardless. And a lot of the times people are like, oh, I pay the subscription fee for the free games, but then half the time they go online and they complain about the free games and they're like, I'm not downloading these, but they're still paying the subscription fee even though the games they're getting are straight trash. And when you look at last gen, the PS3 didn't have a subscription fee to access online. There was just a small subscription fee if you wanted to get free games. But Microsoft, you had to pay a $60 subscription fee, like it was $60 a year, in order not only to play games online, but to access apps like Netflix and shit, which is straight up bullshit. Like, I never understood why you needed a gold account to access Netflix, because you're paying for the console, the subscription fee, and you're paying for Netflix. How come if I'm already paying for Netflix, but I don't have a subscription to Xbox Live Gold, why can't I access my Netflix when I'm already paying for Netflix? I shouldn't have to pay for both, but that's beside the point. So as I was saying, last gen the PS3 had no subscription fee to access online, and Xbox did. And the Xbox service was noticeably more. The online service was more solid than the PlayStation's was. PlayStation was always getting hacked and online was going down and shit. So when they decided to announce that they're going to add a subscription fee, everybody was like, oh, the network's going to get better and blah 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 and this and that. But as we've seen this gen, PSN is still dog shit. It's not as bad as it was, but it's still dog shit. And Xbox Live so far has not been as good as it was last gen, because last gen I didn't notice, I was only on 360, I didn't notice a single time that Xbox Live went down, and I'm sure it did, but it didn't go down as much as PlayStation did. This gen, from the beginning of 2014 to the end of 2015, PSN has been was straight dog shit. The only problems I really have now are the PSN store doesn't load up, and the console tends to run like really slow, but I think that's just because of the RAM and shit, like the hardware. But yeah, PSN has not gotten better, or that much better, to justify us paying $60 a year to access online. They make hundreds of millions of dollars a year off of these online subscription fees, and we already know all that money's not going into making the network better. They're spending that shit elsewhere, because again, Sony it doesn't have as much money as Microsoft does. So they need the money. It's obvious they need the money. And yeah, the whole thing was, oh, the network's gonna get better if you pay for online and all this and this and that. And a lot of people are like, all right, whatever, it's not gonna go down for months on end after getting hacked, and okay, yeah, I'll pay the subscription fee. But the thing is, it hasn't gotten to the point where, like, it shouldn't go down at all. Like, I shouldn't, when I get home, like at like 1 or 2 o'clock, my PSN shouldn't be down for maintenance. Why the fuck are you doing maintenance in the middle of the goddamn day? I don't understand that. That's another thing that fucking irks me about Sony. They're fucking retarded. I don't, like, why, who in their right mind would fucking do network maintenance in the middle of the day? And people are like, oh, they're a Japanese company, so the time over there is different than the time over here. But the thing is, the PS4 is selling, like, when you compare it to all the other regions, it's selling the best in North America. So why the fuck would you do maintenance in the middle of the day in North America, where you're like, where you have more players and shit? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. And there's a couple games, like online games on the consoles, that use their own dedicated servers. Like when EA, for their multiplayer games, they use their own dedicated servers. So in situations like that, I shouldn't have to have a PSN subscription to play like Battlefield Online, because they're not using Sony servers or Microsoft servers. They're using EA servers. Therefore, I should not need a PSN or Xbox Live subscription fee to access this games online, because they're like, Sony and Microsoft really have nothing to do with it. They're not paying for those servers. EA's paying for those servers. And quickly, for my last point, just to close this video out, a lot of console players, when you complain about the subscription fee, they'll be like, oh, don't be cheap, don't be a cheap fuck, blah 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 blah, get your money up, blah blah blah. But it's like, these are the same people that'll sit there and tell you that PC is too expensive because of the entry price. But when you add it up, you're paying, at launch, you're paying like $400 for a console, right? And then you're paying $60 a year for what, 5 or 6 years? That shit adds up. Like, that's a lot of fucking money when you think about it. On top of the fact that games are cheaper on PC, so you're spending more on games as well. So who really is the cheap fuck? The person who won't pay the entry fee, but they'll pay more money in the long run, or the person who will just pay the big entry fee and then they'll be good from there until they decide to upgrade in however many years. But yeah, that's all I got for today. I've been seeing a lot of bullshit about people defending this. Like, I don't understand why you defend the pay to play online shit, because it's fucking stupid, honestly. There's no reason that it should be happening. And if they're gonna charge a subscription fee, it shouldn't be $60 a year. It should be like $20 or $30 a year. But yeah, I just finished watching Rainbow All-Stars video, so make sure you check that out. Rainbow's definitely got one of my favorite channels on YouTube right now, so make sure you check out his channel and sub to him. And like I've been saying in the past, however many videos, Battlefield Zero Tolerance is coming soon at puningame.com. Links in the description. Make sure you guys check that out right before, it'll probably drop right before Battlefield 1 comes out. So yeah, like, dislike, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you guys later.